Hiya guys, what is up? And I am super excited about this video today. I have been looking forward to this pack for a long time, and I thought what better way to start off my builds than with a house that uses literally just the pack itself, no base game. I would like to point this out straight away that okay, maybe I was a little misleading with the title of this video. I did use maybe 1 or 2 items from base game. I'm gonna say this now, okay? I did cheat with, I'll tell you what I use. I cheated with the toilet, mainly because there's no toilet in the Cottage Living pack. I cheated with the computer desk, again because there was no computer desk, and I really wanted to use a computer. I could have like just not had a computer in there, but I wanted to use like all the items in the pack, like as many as I possibly could, and I just thought if I'm going to go down this route I've got to use all the items. So okay, I did use a toilet, a computer desk and a computer chair and a little bit of terrain paint and maybe some pom flowers. So those are the items I used from base game, but they were just base game. I promise I went for many other packs. So yes, I'm gonna say yeah, okay, I didn't maybe I didn't use just Cottage Living, but everything else is Cottage Living. I mean, it is literally just those few things, because I just couldn't bear the thought of them not having a toilet, and I really, as I said, I wanted to use a computer, and I could have just put the computer on a dining table, and I did originally, but it just looks so stupid, and I built the house a little bit too big probably. I realised that after I finished building it, I probably should have made the house a little bit smaller. I should have gone for a tiny house, I think, especially the fact that I was just using the pack. I really didn't think about that, and I just didn't think how limited I was in some of the items. But I just couldn't bear the thought of them not having a toilet. I couldn't bear the thought of them having a dining table for to put their computer on, because as I said, it looked really stupid. And I probably could use a dining chair for the computer desk as well, but again it just looked so silly, and I wanted it to look, you know, at least half decent. But I promise you that is it. Okay, yes, I really wanted to put a pond in there, and there were no pond plants. There's no terrain paint either, so yes, I had to use base game terrain paint. But yes, I do promise you everything else is from Cottage Living. I do promise you that. So the family I built for this, I wanted them to be a family, again, just using the Cottage Living pack. So I did just use Cottage Living with them. It's just they are just wearing clothes from the pack itself, no other packs. And as I said, all the landscaping, I was really impressed with the landscape. There's a lot of really nice trees and plants and stuff to put in this. So I was actually really impressed with the debug stuff. So yes, I use a lot of debug stuff. I mean, if I didn't use the debug, the house was just going to look so boring and dull on the outside. So I had to use the debug items. I've got to say, the plants that attach to the walls, the side of the house, I didn't realise at first they were for the side of the house. And the ones that go into the corner, again, I didn't realise they were corner pieces. So I attached them to the side of the house, and then it took me a while to realise, oh, these actually fit nicely on the corner. Silly me. And then when I figured that out, I was like, oh, this actually looks really nice. And I've got to say, I am really impressed with this pack. I think because of the authenticity of it, and, you know, being a British person who has lived right next door to the British countryside her whole life. And I've got a load of relatives that have lived on farms their whole lives as well. I know exactly what the British countryside, British farms looks like. And I've got to say, a lot of the stuff is pretty bang on, and I'm pretty impressed with it. Like, I really like the little touches. Like, I saw like a red letterbox, and I think it was in the debug items. It might have been in the normal items, I'm not sure, but that was just so authentic for me, and it just looks so good. I was like, oh, well done, EA. Yeah, you've done well there. You've done well there. I'm not saying it's all perfect and dandy. Like, there's a few things I would have liked. Like, as I said, there was no like computer desk. I would have liked some like bookshelves, things like that. I think that would have been nice, just to, you know, a bit more decoration, because I was really limited on stuff to use. I ended up using so many items, you know, 3 or 4 times, like 10 times. You know, I used like the same picture like so many times. Luckily, they had like loads of different swatches, so you know I could at least put, so I've literally got the same picture around the house, you know, about 3 or 4 times, and then you'll see like another picture that is like just the same, and you'll see the same decor around the house, obviously, because I was very limited on what I had. So I would have liked, you know, a few more pieces of decor. I really would have liked, I mean, you know, us British, you know, we love our tea, we love our cups of tea. And I really would have loved like a kettle and, you know, some tea bags, like a tea. I know they have got caddies, which is good. So they got like tea and coffee caddies and some sugar. But I would have liked to have seen some actual tea bags, like a kettle with some tea bags next to it, something like that. Just, I'm not saying this is like just made to be, you know, like you know, a British pack. I'm not saying like this is definitely made to be a British pack. I do see a lot of like other countries from Europe, like the style, like I see a lot of sort of like maybe German farms in here, the style of it. But yeah, I think what they were, I'm guessing what they were mainly going for was like a sort of British farm type look. And so yeah, there's a few other sort of things they could have thrown in there. As I said, like a kettle, some tea bags, you know, a lot more bookshelves. And us Brits, right, because our weather's always so rubbish, you know, we spend a lot of time inside, so we we like to make the inside of our houses look really nice. So, you know, a few more dining tables or something, like just a few more chairs, because literally like one chair, one dining table. But, you know, I mean, maybe I'm just getting too nitpicky here. I think the pack itself is really nice, and just stylistically, you know, a lot of the patterns and like the wallpaper and stuff. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this wallpaper. Like I use it in the hallway. The one I used in the hallway, the one with the little like squirrels and the bunnies, whatever they are. I think it's absolutely adorable. Like, and the rose wallpaper was so nice, and I love the wood flooring. Oh, it was like, you know, kind of patchy, like, you know, proper or like raw wood is, and I just thought that was lovely. I know I said earlier, right, I know I should have made this smaller, but in the end I'm kind of glad it was this big, because it really challenged me. And as I said, yes, you will see a lot of the same items. Like I had like one bookshelf, like one pile of books to use, so I used that about 20 times. The stuff in the kitchen stuff, yes, I was really impressed with that. There's a lot of kitchen stuff. There's like one little ornament like this bunny that you'll see in like every single room. And the roofing as well. The roof, this little like sort of wooden beamy roof thing that you can put on the corner roof, I think was really nice. I've got to say, right, I've seen a lot of people playing with this pack, and I've seen a lot of people starting to post, because this is early days of the pack's release, right? So I'm seeing all people's builds coming out at the moment on YouTube and stuff, and on Reddit, and what people have built with this pack now. So they're all coming out now because people are starting to build them. And I've got to say, oh my goodness, some of these builds look absolutely, I mean, I could never do some of this stuff like in a million years. Some people's builds are just incredible. I don't know how that, you know, I can probably I'm never going to get to that stage where it looks like so unbelievably detailed. Right after I built this house, I was so proud of it, and I was like, oh yes, I did it. I used, well, pretty much only the Cottage Living pack. And then I went online, I went onto YouTube, and then I saw what other people had done. I mean, yeah, okay, a lot of them used base game as well, but I compared it to mine, and I was like, oh, right, I'm just going to throw mine in the bin, because just put it in the bin, we don't have to look at it anymore. No, I mean, like, I'm proud of what I did. I am proud of what I did. I tried to make every room look different in its own way. But some of this stuff that people have made, my goodness, it looks so nice. Like, there's some really talented simmers out there. If you know me, you know I am still very new to this game. I've only had this game since November. Yeah, I'm still, you know, I'm not a veteran. I say this in all my videos. I just always moan about myself. You know, I'm not experienced in doing all these, you know, funky patterns and putting objects together to look like new objects and things. You know, I'm not that talented, right? I'm still getting used to building at the moment. I'm still learning, you know. But some of the stuff that people have made, oh my goodness, it just put this build to absolute shame. But I mean, despite that, you know, you can't always compare yourself to someone else, can you? You can't. You got to be proud of what you've done, and you know, as long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing, isn't it? If I'd have used base game as well, it probably wouldn't have been so difficult. I actually stream this. You're actually watching a speedrun of my stream on Twitch, and people in the chat kept saying you should use base game as well, because they could see I was struggling. Like it took me like 3 days of like 2-hour streams each. It was like 6 hours in total. And I was like, no, I want to challenge myself. I want to do this. I've got to do it now, and I'm invested. You know, I've got to see this through to the end. And I probably should have used Basecamp, but I'm glad I stuck it out. I am glad I stuck it out. I wanted every room to look individual in its own way. I ended up making like parents' room, teenager's bedroom, and a guest room. And I wanted the guest room to just be filled. Well, I say filled, put all the objects I could in there. Just, you know, make it look cozy and homey. And I put like, you know, like rugs on the chest of drawers, and then the chest of drawers I put like a little tea tray, because that's what people do, isn't it, when they have a guest room? You know, some fancy people, they like putting like a little tea tray, so it kind of feels like you're in a hotel. So I kind of wanted that feel with the guest room. And you got some rugs, so if they get cold like in the winter or whatever. The teenager's bedroom was probably the most fun to do, because once I figured out what colour scheme I was going with, it kind of just started falling into place. And yes, I use the same objects in every room. You'll see like the same rug. All the bedrooms have the same dresser. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did also use a mirror in the bathroom. Okay, I used a mirror in the bathroom. That's another item I used from Basecamp and not from the Cottage Living pack. I'm sorry, I apologise. So those are the items I used from Basecamp. I used a mirror, a toilet, a desk, and a computer chair. So yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. I put my hands up. It wasn't purely Cottage Living, but everything else is Cottage Living, I promise you. So the teenagers' room was so much fun to build. Once I found this sort of black colour scheme, sort of black and red colour scheme, it kind of fell into place. And it worked for me because I thought, well, you know, a teenager, she's going to be quite quirky, quite alternative. You know, she's into sort of like she's into a rock music and things like that. I don't know. God, I sound so old when I say that, I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted her room to look so different from like the parents' room and the guest room. Like the parents' room is like super pink. It's just like super pink, and like, you know, you got your crochet stuff in there. And I just thought, you know, nice and homey. But the teenager's room was, definitely the most fun to build. I didn't go for wallpaper in the bedrooms in the end, because all the wallpapers in the pack are like super loud. They've just got really loud patterns on them, and I thought I probably should just do like plain sort of bricky look in the 2 main bedrooms. Otherwise the whole house is just going to be a bit too loud, if you know what I mean. Like it's a little bit too patterny and colourful. So yeah, I mean, I was happy with the bedrooms. I was happy how they turned out. The 2 bathrooms, again, were quite a challenge, because again, I was limited on stuff I had, and I didn't want them both to look exactly the same. I wanted them to look different in their own way. I ended up using like kitchen counters in the upper bathroom, I think, and I used like the dresser again because it was the only mirror I had. I haven't actually played with this pack yet, you know, with the actual Sims in this pack yet, so I don't know if that dresser, you can actually use it as a mirror. I'm not sure. I was really happy in the debug. I found like there was like a tractor and like part of a combine harvester in there, and I just thought it looked so nice in the landscaping. I really wanted it to look like, you know, this sort of like old farm where this, you know, they've had this farm for years, and it's probably like handed down from, you know, from generations, from family members. And they've just got like all these old like tractor parts and combine harvester parts, and like a part from an old mill, like a big wheel from an old mill. Now I've got to say, right, I use like this sort of half wheel from this from like a mill, like a water mill. I didn't realise that it span. It spins, and I didn't realise that it spins. When I went into live mode and just sort of like tested everything out, look how everything looked, the wheel that I put in the garden, it started spinning. And I know, like, I realised that you're supposed to put it in like water so that, you know, it spins the water around, but I just put it in the ground. So it just looks like, so the wheel is basically just spinning into the ground. So if you actually play this, it is on the gallery. Go play with it to your heart's content, and you'll see the big wheel just spinning into the ground, and it looks so weird. It looks so silly. So I apologise about that, but you know, it's funny. If you want to play with this house, you've got a nice spinny wheel that goes into the ground. It looks so funny. I've heard there's like a country stuff pack for this game, is there? I don't know. I'm so noob. I don't know what I'm talking about. I heard there was like someone in my chat the other day. They were like, yeah, the country stuff pack will go really well with this. So I don't know. I might expand on this, or my next build I might use that as well. I think that'll be really nice to go with that. I think my next cottage living build I am going to just use all the packs I got. Because this got to a point where it became so tedious. Do you know what I mean? It all became a bit samey, like the objects I was using, because I kept using the same objects like 20 times. So it'd be nice to actually build something and where I don't just have to use the same objects in every room. Yeah, you'll notice like the downstairs. I had 2 downstairs living rooms, and I did use the same wallpaper in each, but I assume like one of the living rooms was more like a living room. We got like a fireplace and a TV. And so that's more where, they put guests in there. And then the other room was kind of like a sort of back room that actually leads out into the garden. And then I put like, some crochet stuff in there. So I assumed it would just be, not really a living room, sort of a crafts room. And then I really wanted to put a study in there, as as I talked about earlier. And I really wanted to put a study in there. So you got like 2 living rooms, study, bathroom on the downstairs, obviously kitchen, diner, and then on the upstairs you got like 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. I suppose you could, if you want to play with this, you could put like a loft conversion in there. I think it would go quite well with this build. One thing I want to talk about, the roof is very simple. For one reason being that I am terrible at roofs. I haven't quite learned, I haven't quite mastered that skill yet. But there's another reason. It's because British roofs are simple. British cottages, they are incredibly simple. They don't, they're not sort of like, I've seen some amazing builds where like people have, done all these sort of roundy roofs and put like a million other roofs on it, like roof parts, and made amazing creations and amazing shapes, But I was really going for the kind of houses that I've seen, the kind of houses that I've grown up with. Those are the kind of houses I was trying to replicate. Just very, very simple triangular roofs. I probably, really, I just did it because it was easier. But yeah, no, I mean, those are the kind of roofs that I'm used to seeing. So, and that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel and show me some love, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You'll be doing me a hell of a favour. I would really appreciate it, guys. I am very new here, and this is what we've got to do. We've all got to like support each other in this community, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this Sims community, and I would love to just grow. Yeah, I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of the video now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.